Welcome to this Blue Star Careers webinar. I'm Laura Torres with Blue Star Careers, representing Spouse Force, our virtual community for military spouses. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are here watching this for the very first time, this is a career segment that we're bringing you in one of our corporate partners, one of our community partners, career-driven partners who are changing the narrative when it comes to supporting military spouses. On this particular case, we thought it would be a great topic of discussion, as many military families are PCSing this season, and you are embarking into a new community. You are completely starting all over again in some communities, and therefore mentorship matters for us. Mentorship matters when it comes to creating and adapting to new communities. So we want to make sure that you are connecting with your local community, but also making sure that you are engaging and understanding what are some of those best practices that you can do in your local community. So let me tell you what mentorship matters. We're going to talk with American Corporate Partners, and they have a wealth of resources for our military spouses, for our community, as well as they have some great activities coming on. We have presenter Leslie Coffey, coordinator of military engagement at ACP. She's also an Army military spouse. Mondays at the Clubhouse, influencer, you can catch her there. She also volunteers and mentors at other nonprofit organizations, and overall, she's a military spouse advocate. So without further ado, let me bring Leslie and have her educate us all about ACP, as well as why mentorship matters. Leslie, welcome.
Oh, thank you so much for the opportunity, Laura. We love partnering with Blue Star Family, so really appreciate getting out and spreading the word.
Absolutely, thank you so much. Now, I know that mentorship, it's a great tool, and sometimes can be very underutilized in some communities, especially communities perhaps that are super busy, are very hectic, and at least that probably will be my take. If I'm not engaging in a mentorship, it would be basically because I'm super busy. But can you tell me overall, first of all, tell me about yourself, and then overall, why mentorship, in your perspective, you think it matters?
Yes, absolutely. So my name is Leslie Coffey. I have been a military spouse for 25 years. My service members still serving active duty, 27 years in, and we have a few more to go. And I get it. Like, I completely understand all of the challenges that come with a military family, that come with military lifestyle, and the career journey of a military spouse. For my first time as a 25-year, this is my first PCS where I didn't have to resign from my position due to, the military lifestyle. So that's why I'm such an advocate. That's why I'm here to help. And I can tell you, as someone that went through ACP, that is an alumna, class of 2019, mentorship for me, and of course I'll go into many more reasons why mentorship matters, but for me it led to a 67% increase in my salary because it was like my own career coach, my own personal Forbes coach there, teaching me along the way and coaching me through the negotiation, helping me know my worth, and was there every step of the way. With somebody that I still keep in contact with today.
Fantastic. That's a great statistic. That's a great feedback and why mentorship matters. Now, you yourself are a mentor out in our community. So whether you like to maybe be put on the spot like that or not, but on your own personal perspective as a mentor, how has this advanced or helped you in your own career?
Yes, so like I said, mentorship, the biggest thing about mentorship, especially as a veteran, especially as a military spouse, for veterans, they're so used to putting the team and the mission first. And for spouses, we're used to putting our family as well as supporting our service members' career. A mentor is there with personal vested interest in what's best for you. They're interested in your career journey, in your goals, in your interest. And that it's like having not only a coach, but a cheerleader and somebody that has experience in that career field that you're interested in, somebody that's made the mistakes ahead of you so you can learn from them. Somebody that can give you a day in the life. This is what a day in the life looks like. This is the good, bad, the ugly, the pimples, whatever, right? When you're considering different career paths. And also what's really, really big about mentorship is helping you to network, because as we know, 85% of opportunities come from direct referral. And who better to refer you in suppose of somebody in that industry who may have a complete network in that career path or in that industry that you're seeking to go into.
Absolutely. Now, Leslie, I've heard several individuals throughout our community mention or say that they have more than one mentor. Is that being your case for you?
Yeah, so I refer to it as a personal board of directors. And they can be a mentor not only professionally, you can have a mentor, a military spouse mentor, a senior spouse, somebody that's maybe hosted gatherings and maybe you're kind of new to that, or doesn't know all the acronyms in the military and you need like, what are they talking about? A mentor is somebody that you can confide in, that you can be vulnerable with, and that really just has your best interest. Even mentorship as far as families, you know, a personal board of directors, you can have mentors in various parts of your life. For ACP, we specifically focus on the professional journey and your career path, but there are many ways that you can have mentorship.
That is great news. And, you know, I personally myself, I think I've had maybe a couple of mentors or so, but, you know, sometimes obviously there's some unanimous mentors out there who come into my life, have coached me or shared with me some great insight. And of course, all of you out there who are watching and are part of our Spouse Wars virtual community are also mentors to us, to myself, to all of us who are part of it, because when you share your career goals, when you share your activities, it helps us, at least it helps me, go out and find additional resources. So I feel like as a mentee, because then now I am exploring new opportunities to help bring into our community. So Leslie, show us and tell us a little bit more about how can we start getting involved. You have something to share with us in regards to mentorship and ACP overall.
Absolutely. I'd love to give you a background of ACP. Let me just share my screen here.
And those of you who are watching, tell us where you're watching, post it in your comments, post your questions, any anecdotes or any good memories that you have perhaps that you helped or that you connected with a mentor, any positive thoughts, tell us. We want to bring those towards the end of the session, as well as give Leslie a shout out and give your community where you are located. Because if your community has amazing, powerful mentors, that means we really want to recognize that. And you want to this is a chance for you to give a shout out to your mentor as well. So post it in the comments and let us know. So Leslie, I'm going to bring in your screen, and here we are. There we are. Thank you.
Yeah, so first off, I just want to say that we recognize here at ACP there are thousands of great resources and organizations doing amazing work, just like Blue Star Families, right? Doing amazing work for the community that you and I both love and serve. The one thing that sets ACP apart is that we're the only one that actually helps you to figure out what you want to do and helps you to get there. So the number one challenge I hear over and over again, I guarantee you do as well, is deciding on a career path. So many of us don't know what we want to do next, especially for transitioning service members as well as military spouses. I hear it all the time. I just don't know what I want to do. You know, for the military, they've been told what to do, the mission, and where to live, and what uniform to wear for all these years, whether it's 5 or 30, and now the choice is theirs. And that can be completely overwhelming. And a mentor can actually help you to decide on the right career path and understand all the opportunities out there. So what we are at ACP is we are a free veteran and active duty spouse mentoring program. Our program is life-changing. Don't take it from me. Take it from 20,000 alumni that have come through our program, and I'm going to tell you about what they say about our program. But I start off here to show you where our mentors come from. Our mentors are vetted from our organization, and they have to have lots of experience in various career paths and different industries. But as you can see here, these are iconic brands. These are over 100 of Fortune 500 partner companies. And not only do we have mentors from these companies, we have Major League Baseball, we have Fox, we've got GM, we've got a VP at UPS. Like, you name it, we've got somebody that can fit your needs. But not only do we have corporate companies, corporate mentors, but we also have civil service. So we've got astronauts, we've got protective services, we've got SES, which is Senior Executive Services in the GS. So maybe you're interested in federal and you're looking for a federal mentor, we offer those as well, just as well as education. You can see Harvard here is listed, and they're actually going to be joining us for an event next week. So this is the kind, and a start here to show you this is where our mentors come from.
Wow, what an incredible list of contributors that you guys have in your database. And like you mentioned earlier, these are sometimes, 85% of jobs, and actually this is not just sometimes, but overall, 85% of jobs are found and are gathered, or you get a job when someone refers you. Right. And having this type of access to incredible companies and a mentor, boy, that's just life-changing right there, Leslie.
Well, Laura, I will share with you, just a few weeks ago, we had a veteran that works for Facebook, and he did a webinar with us, and he was telling us, all the ins and outs of working for Facebook. And what he shared was internally, and I hear this is throughout most companies, in Facebook, there's actually a checkbox when as they're looking through for narrowing down the list of who to interview, there's a checkbox, was this person referred? And if you check that box, then it moves up the pipe, right? Otherwise, it's kind of going to go in the circular file cabinet. And more organizations are using this. So that direct referral, that was just such a light bulb moment for me when he said that. It's like, wow, it's literally, you either get moved forward or you get tossed to the side from direct referral. That's 85% of opportunities. So you're spot on with that, Laura. So
the power of who you know.
Yeah. And so we were founded in 2008 by an investment banker. He actually resigned from his position. He was really impacted in 2001 when the Twin Towers were hit, and of course was kind of outside of that age bracket to serve. And so he tried to figure out, how can I give back? He was so impacted and he wanted to help. So what he did is he founded our organization and understood the impact that mentorship had on his successful career. And even to this day, 13 years later, he doesn't take a dime from the organization. He is so passionate and works on this mission day and night, 7 days a week. So Sid did found us as a nonprofit assisting post 9/11 veterans originally, and then in 2018 we launched our military spouse ability, so active duty military spouse program. But if veterans, even if they've been out 10, 12, 15 years, if they ever served 180 days post 9/11, they are eligible for our program. And active duty spouses, they are eligible for our program, as well as Gold Star spouses or spouses of disabled veterans. So we focus on mentoring, career counseling, professional networking. We currently have 4,000 mentorships active right now. So when we think of 4,000 proteges and 4,000 mentors, we are currently nurturing 8,000 peers through our program. And the beautiful thing is that I'm going to talk about is our staff. Our staff is what makes the difference. Our staff is what sets ACP apart. What we do to actually pair up a protege and a mentor, there is a human being. It's not an algorithm. It's not Match.com. It is a human that does a deep dive, and they put a lot of time and effort into listening to your goals, into listening to your interests, and to try to find that perfect match, somebody you can develop a relationship with that will be successful for a year-long mentorship. It's a one-to-one, as I mentioned earlier, so it's one mentor to one protege. It's not one mentor to 30 proteges. It's one-to-one. And the commitment is at least 1 hour of meaningful conversation once a month. Sometimes, oftentimes, it'll be even more frequently than that, like prepping for an interview. And then also, a lot of times we hear these relationships last past the year mark, as I have with mine. But I really I can't stress enough the difference that our staff makes, because you have a point of contact, ACP. You have somebody that's going to develop and nurture that relationship along with you. So not only do they do that really hard work on making the perfect pair, but they're there for your point of contact, and they check in with you. How's it going? Is there anything you need? Any tools? They're there to help you along the way to make sure you get the best experience. We like to call it the white glove approach. So from that support throughout the year and really making sure their success, from this experience means everything in the world to us. And so that's why they continuously check in. And from those 20,000 alumni that come through the program, 98% would recommend it to another veteran or to another, military spouse. So we're really, really excited for that statistic.
That is fantastic. I mean, you're right. I mean, your staff, of course, it makes a difference, because that shows the power of, just enthusiasm and how involved they are into changing someone's life, career trajectory, and just overall touching that, just sparkling that enthusiasm for someone to really get a more clear vision into what their career could look like, but also just make those meaningful connections, which are key when it comes to career development and getting into a great organization.
Yeah, a lot of our staff, they have degrees in social work or psychology, and they just love our veteran and military spouse community, and they love the mission. They are so dedicated to seeing the smooth, successful transition of our service members, and to help military spouses finally find their own career path. They're just dedicated to the mission, and I mean, they're just some phenomenal human beings. I'm just blessed to work with them every day. So if I could walk you through kind of what it's like after you apply, and really how those operations associates kind of come into play. Once you apply, I'm going to share that website in just a moment, but once you apply, you're actually contacted within 24 hours. You're contacted, again, by human, not by computer. It's not an automated response. It's not an algorithm. It's a person that really reads your application, is interested in your interests, your career goals, and then they pick up the phone. They pick up the phone, call you, and you schedule what we call an intake. And that intake process, it's really like an interview, where they're just seeing, what interests you, what kind of industry, what do you like to do in your spare time? Because sometimes that makes for a great fit. Maybe it's a location. Although we have been completely virtual. It used to be pre-COVID, we were 80% virtual, but now we're over 90%. So location's not a factor. We were actually meant for COVID, so that actually increased participation, not decreased on us. But these operation associates, they work really hard to make sure that match is compatible. And they will provide you, once they find a potential match, they'll provide you with essentially like their baseball card. Hey, what do you think about this person? Do you think this would be a good fit for you? For me, I was blown away. I was like, yes, 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 this is who I want. That was in my email response. Please, how fast can I get on the phone with this individual? So your positive experience means everything to the staff. We even offer training not only to the staff but mentors, because I think over 75% of our mentors have not served. This is their way to give back. And for somebody that's a military spouse and has been through the mentorship program, I can tell you my own personal hang-up. It was difficult for me to know when to ask for help, or to not have, or to have that meeting when I didn't have a deliverable. And that is a mistake that I want everybody to learn, because these mentors are volunteering. This is their way to give back, and they get just as much out of this experience as the proteges do. I can guarantee that, because we hear from them daily as well, how much they get from this experience. And guess what? Because they get so much from that 1 year experience, they will sign up the next year to mentor another protege as well. So a little tidbit for the audience there: if you're thinking about and you're not sure if it's right for you, I can tell you to be vulnerable and let somebody help you, because you're not aggravating them. They signed up for this, they're volunteering for this, and they want to give back. So once you have these, customized mentorships, and we actually are able to identify that mentor and you accept, then that 1 year relationship starts. And again, it's 1 hour a month of meaningful conversations for a year. This is where you can go to apply. I would say apply today. acp-usa.org. We have a large capacity of mentors anxious. You can see over 100 companies. Some of them provide 25 mentors, some provide 50, some provide up to 200 mentors from those companies. It could be a chairman of the board at Johnson & Johnson. I mean, can you imagine the CEO of some of these companies and what they could give to you? The value that they could bring, the lessons learned, and letting you know where you might be wasting your time and what efforts. I mean, we talk about all these different certifications and trainings. Which ones really make a difference? Let's say you're going into logistics. That hiring manager at UPS is going to know which would make a difference for UPS.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So I will quickly share, this is what the application will look like when you go to apply. What's most important, don't worry about too many details. Again, you're going to get called. You're going to get called by a staff member, and they're going to ask you all the questions. So pertinent information, your name, your email address, the way, can we text you or not? Some people just prefer to be texted, and we're okay with that. Again, we're here to customize and fit your needs. So whatever your preferred method is, let us know, and that's how we're going to go reaching out to you. And then lastly, I'll say, to talk on what we're going to be doing next week, and then we can really deep dive into what makes a successful mentorship, if that's okay with you, Laura.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. So 1 week from today, 1 week almost from this hour, we're going to be offering a remote work symposium. Now, you do not have to be a current protege or an alumni for our program. We're opening this up to the entire military connected community. So you're a veteran, you're a transitioning service member, you're a military spouse, you're a veteran spouse, you're a past spouse, whatever that looks like. They're opening this up to anybody military connected. You do not have to be a participant in our program. These companies will be joining us, and that is where you can RSVP. And they have active openings that they will be. First, they're going to talk about what remote work looks like for their organization. For example, Amazon, John Deere, IBM, Fox, Harvard, Travelers, Home Depot, Deloitte. These companies, one at a time, 3 to 5 minutes, they're going to pop on. They're going to talk about what remote work is like, the opportunities that they have available, and then they're going to put in the chat a direct application link for their company. So they're going to know you were at our event because that's how you got the link. And therefore, they're going to know you're military connected. And they are putting a higher preference on hiring military connected right now. These companies want you. It's just figuring out how to best access military and spouse community. So please join us in a week from today at 1 o'clock if you're looking for a remote opportunity working from home. So I'm going to stop my share, and then I think we're going to have a little bit of conversations, and I can answer any questions, but also how best, to be successful in a mentoring relationship.
Absolutely. And you just, when you share the symposium, it just started driving all kinds of thoughts, even if you perhaps are not, if you're in a PCS, right now it's PCS season, and if you still active duty, you perhaps are not thinking about a job, or you're not thinking about a mentor, you're not thinking about connections. But I think, Leslie, this is a perfect time for you to start putting those perhaps milestones in your, or your, those eggs in your basket, so that you can go and explore, like this particular symposium. It's a great way for you to go and explore what companies are out there hiring, best practices, get to know those individuals, even if you perhaps don't apply, but at least educate yourself and get to know your communities, your virtual community, because remote work is here to stay. I gotta tell you that, but it's important for us to also understand what works best for those organizations.
Yes, they're gonna go into, the different opportunities, what a day in the life looks like for their organization, the type of roles. You may not have heard of some of these positions. They may be completely foreign to you, but once they get talking about it, it's like, wow, that sounds fascinating. I can do that. And then you're gonna have the ability to really understand what these Fortune 500 companies look for, these iconic brands, what they're looking for in a valuable employee.
Absolutely. So Leslie, I'm going to put you on the spot. What was the first mentorship opportunity or session that you had with someone? When did you realize that was a mentor there, or someone coaching you, helping you, guiding you? If you recall your early memory with this particular practice or
for me,
experience.
Natalie Oliverio has been a phenomenal mentor in my life. And, for me, I can't pinpoint exactly the exact words. It's like Maya Angelou said, it's a feeling. It's how she made me feel. And that's what a mentor does. A mentor will make it's that feeling that you're important, you're valued, and that they're there for you. It's like, your own cheerleader. Somebody in your court, because so often, especially as spouses, we're there to support our families. We're there. I'm a soccer mom. I've got 4 kids. I got a van. I'm a soccer mom, right? And I am the most obnoxious soccer mom on the sidelines. But to have that in reverse for me, somebody cheering me on, or somebody to pick me up and kind of wipe my knees off if I fall down and scratch them, and say it's okay, it's not how many times you fall, it's how many times you get back up. That is what a mentor does. Just like Maya Angelou says, it's not, you may not remember what the person said or what they did, but it's how they made you feel. And that's what my mentor did for me.
Absolutely. Now, can you recall, or can you share with us some best tips, the do's and don'ts of what a mentee is not to do? Let me tell you what that question is about. Like myself, I got myself a mentor also a few years back, especially when I started this job. Wanted to know a little bit more how to stay competitive. I wanted to pursue an HR generalist, very aggressive sort of a career path, and all the right feedback and the right coaching, the right sessions or discussions that Rosemary and I, which I sent her a shout out, shared at the beginning. I didn't like it. I didn't like because she was not sharing my plan in a way, or I didn't like the direction, so I shut down completely. But in your view, what are those do's and don'ts that mentees are not supposed to do?
I would say know your goals of the relationship, because if you don't know what you want out of it, how is the mentor supposed to help you get there, right? Even if it is narrowing your scope and trying to figure out a career path. Maybe you have no idea what career path, and that's okay. But maybe the goal of the relationship is to find a career path. But regardless, what is your goal? Is your goal to increase your salary? Is your goal to go from in-person to a remote position? Is your goal to go from corporate to nonprofit or vice versa? understand what your goal is, and then that mentor can help you to get there. Whether it's, so for example, my mentor, she told me, you're wasting your time on this and that. And just like you, I was bullhead. Oh, so many people say I need this, so many people, so I'm going to go over here, right? She was right. You know why? Because she's got experience, because she's been there, done that, got the t-shirt, and she made those mistakes. And she knew I was wasting my time on certain things. But I had found out for myself. I found out for myself certain certifications were maybe not the best fit for me. And she had told me, I mean, it's kind of like your mom, right? Yes, Mom, you're right. How many times do we hear that as mothers? So that's what my mentor, just like you, that's what my mentor did for me. So I would say, knowing what you want out of the relationship, having goals is really, really fundamental and important, because how else are you going to get there if you really don't know what you want from the experience? Also, humble yourself. Be vulnerable. I can't express enough how much this person wants to see you succeed. Like, they get just as much out of it, and they want to be your biggest cheerleader. So, but in order, you need to be transparent, you need to be vulnerable, and you need to be able to, tell them your weaknesses so that they can help you to counterbalance those weaknesses and see where they can supplement there. Don't be afraid to ask questions. There's no such thing as a dumb question. I mean, if anything, a mentor that there's a trusted relationship developed there, that is a safe space to ask those questions. You don't want to ask them at work and look like the one person, you feel like you're, being interviewed or judged or whatever the case may be. You want to ask somewhere safe, and a mentor is that person. So, between phone calls, maybe make a note, keep lists of questions. That way you know exactly, what you want to talk about the next time. I was like, oh, I've been waiting to ask you this question. That's the person to ask. They are there for you, your success, and they're complete 100% committed to you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. And please don't do what I did. I completely shut down because I didn't like the realistic sort of a discussion that she gave me or she put on me to think about. And I didn't like that reality, facing that perhaps it was not a doable goal at the moment. And so I completely said, okay, she's not going to go for my stuff. I'm going to go find somebody else. But then later on, we reached out. But yes, it's incredible what a mentor, the power they have, to encourage you to redefine your goals, but most importantly, just to be there for you. Like Leslie said, to just be your cheerleaders and really help you guide your mind, your train of thought, and encourage you. But most importantly, also to introduce you to great companies, perhaps if they happen to be also hiring. So now, Leslie, I want to take this moment to acknowledge some of our viewers. We have a ton of viewers. So if you see me looking down, I'm looking on another screen because I'm looking and acknowledging this. Sarah Sawyer is watching us. Thank you, Sarah. Jane is also watching. Some of them don't show here on our feed, but I do want to acknowledge Christy, who's watching us from Evans, Georgia.
Evans, Georgia used to be in Savannah and Fort Stewart, Georgia. I'm not sure how far Evans is, but I've spent my time in Georgia.
Perfect. And then somebody else also on Facebook, on one of our Facebook communities, posted that they just started this process and they can't wait to meet their mentor. So this is fantastic. Thank you so much. Now, Jared, one of our great, had posted there a great comment there, a great program, especially if taken at the right time. And that's now within 12 to 18 months. So he has a great comment out there in our community on LinkedIn. So Leslie, when is the right time for a mentor and to reach out to ACP?
So if you're transitioning service member, you can do more than a year out. It's completely okay. It takes time, absolutely within that last year, but you can do it before then, because you may not only be deciding on a correct career path, you may be going to school. Not everybody goes into employment from our program. Some of them go off to school, whether it's for their bachelor's. 34% of our proteges do not have a degree. So perhaps they're going into school, and if you're anything like me, I changed my degree plan. So to save yourself some time, you have a mentor in advance to kind of narrow that scope, deciding on a career path, maybe not to go into career, but actually to go into school. And that way you don't have to bounce around and waste more time deciding on a path, on a degree plan.
Now, someone posted a question here on our Facebook community, and they want to know if the event that you mentioned, the remote symposium, is that Pacific or Eastern time?
So 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific.
Perfect. So right around this time, exactly like this time.
1 week from today.
1 week from today, yes. And then this is the link for you to go on and sign up. Make sure you signed up. Is this the kind of event, Leslie, that will close for registrations, or is it stayed open up until the last minute?
So they are asking.
And by all means, I don't want to encourage anyone to register at the last minute, but just in case life happens.
Right. They are asking for registrations to be in by the 28th.
Okay, so
Monday.
register right now. Don't wait until the day before, an hour before, 2 hours before. Right now, register and get yourself into the symposium so that you can start your application. Now, if you want to apply for mentorship, just like Leslie walked us through the process, so watch the replay, go back to that section where it says, how to, all the 4 steps that you need to take. This is the link for you to look for it. Go on and sign up and apply for mentorship. You can also find the same link in our website. American Corporate Partners is on the careers webpage, and you can also find that. You can find additionally more resources on our careers page as well. So anything else, Leslie, as we get ready to wrap up? And I'm going to look through these comments here to see if I have anything else that I can bring out to our community. But as I do that, tell us anything else we can do. Last call of actions that we can take on for us.
Call of action is to apply today. Apply for the mentorship. 98% chance you're not going to be disappointed. You're going to be satisfied, because that's how many alumni actually recommend us to their fellow veterans and military spouses. And I would just say that we also offer webinars every Wednesday. We have an events page where you can go back and look for the past year of all the different webinars. You want to hear what it's like to work for UPS? You can watch that. You want to hear the different careers at UBS. You want to hear about Deloitte. You name it, the Facebook one that I just talked about. And we also have a women's specific program. Once a month, we offer a webinar specifically tailored to women and their needs, whether they're a women veteran or whether they're a military spouse. Some phenomenal work. Lucy Piper and her team is there. You can reach out and connect with myself on LinkedIn. Lucy Piper runs the Women's and Spouse Program. Tim Cochran is our SVP, our Senior Vice President. You can reach out to him on LinkedIn as well. But I would recommend going into our events tab from ACP usa.org, go into the events and just scroll back. I mean, there's so much knowledge there. I mean, just incredible. You want to do some research on a company or industry, start right there. Those are people on the inside. Those are executives in those companies, and that's what every webinar Wednesday is all about.
Absolutely, that's great information. Thank you so much, Leslie. And before we go, I do want to acknowledge Akina, who is also supporting here, and Shantivia, Christy, thank you so much. I don't see any comments from them coming over, but I do see that they are supporting as well as those who are in multiple communities. We do have someone who posted as well from our YouTube and has some questions, but we will address those offline. So if you are listening to us, our Workday partner, we will reach out to you and connect with you offline so that we make sure that we connect you to ACP or Blue Star Families and support you as well to reach our community. So thank you so much, Leslie. We look forward to the symposium next week. Those of you who are still watching, if you have not yet connected to our Spouse Force virtual community, there's a link. That's where all the career action takes place. Every day there's a different topic, different segment, different activities going on, but it also allows you the chance to come back and watch the replays as well as review everything that we post. We don't spam, we don't overpost things because we want to make sure that you are capturing everything that you need at the right timing. And if something doesn't work one week, we'll always come back the following week with great partners like Leslie and ACP to share with you some incredible opportunities. So, Leslie, what's in the plans for you this weekend? Prepping, besides prepping for the symposium, soccer mom.
I'm prepping for my first trip since 8th grade, and that was just a couple of years ago because, you know, I'm not ancient or anything. My first trip since 8th grade to DC, that's what I'm going to be prepping for. I'm really excited to know all the things to do at DC. So if you have a bucket list for me, send it my way.
There you go. Perfect. So thank you so much for your time and for hanging in here for this careers webinar. We really look forward to your support and it's, of course, your attendance at the Symposium Summit, but also to create your profile. You know, start slowly, apply. Applying is just the beginning. You still have to be matched to someone. And like Leslie said, this is very personalized service. So you will get someone, you will get a call and then be team up with someone that will hopefully will be a great fit for you. So be open for the experience, but most importantly, don't do it alone. If you're PCSing, if you're starting all over in a new community, this is your chance to create great relationships, and mentorship is just one way to do it. So thank you so much, Leslie, for your support and for being here with us, for enlightening us with all this great wealth of knowledge about ACP partners. And of course, we look forward to the symposium next week. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks so much for the opportunity and time, Laura. I appreciate you.
Absolutely.